Chassidic Parashat Long Live the King. The Chassidic perspective on monarchy and divine presence in Parashat Vayechi. The institution of monarchy has long been regarded as a vital component of governance, embodying not only political authority but also a profound reflection of Hashem's divine presence in the world. Within the sacred narrative of the Torah, particularly in Parashat Vayechi, this concept is intricately woven into the fabric of the story as we observe the final days of יקע-פעננער. As he approaches the end of his life, Yaakov's primary concern is his burial place, a matter that carries great significance beyond mere physical location. His desire to be interred in Eretz Yisrael, specifically in the Machpelah cave in Chevron, speaks to themes of identity, legacy, and the intricate relationship between the earthly and the divine. Yaakov's apprehension about being buried in Egypt is rooted in a profound understanding of the cultural context surrounding him. The Egyptians had a long-standing tradition of deifying their leaders, constructing elaborate tombs and idolizing them as divine figures. Yaakov fears that his presence in Egypt, particularly after the miraculous end of famine and the return of abundance attributed to him, might lead the Egyptians to regard him as a deity. The title of tzaddik, which he carries, could easily devolve into a basis for worship, misrepresenting his true purpose as a servant of Hashem. In light of this, Yaakov implores his son Yosef, the viceroy of Egypt, to assure him that he will be buried in the ancestral land where he can maintain a connection to his roots and his legacy. When Yaakov addresses Yosef, he employs a striking expression: "If I have found favor in your eyes, swear to me and do for me the ultimate kindness. Please don't bury me in Egypt." This request is imbued with emotional weight, reflecting not only Yaakov's personal wishes but also his deep-seated concerns for the spiritual well-being of his descendants. Yosef, embodying the role of a powerful ruler, promises to fulfill his father's request. Only then does Yaakov find the strength to sit up and honor his son, acknowledging the significance of Yosef's kingship. This act of respect is particularly noteworthy. It encapsulates the duality of their relationship. Yaakov is both a father and a spiritual leader, while Yosef is a king who commands authority. The Chassidic teachings, especially those articulated by the Maharal of Prague, delve deeply into the intricate relationship between earthly monarchy and divine kingship. The principle Malchusa Dara Kain Malchusa Drekia, the earthly kingdom resembles the heavenly one, serves as a foundational concept in understanding how the systems that govern our world mirror those of the divine. Just as Hashem reigns as the absolute monarch of the universe, earthly kingship reflects that sovereignty, emphasizing the presence of the divine in governance. This parallel underscores the significance of monarchy as a conduit for divine providence in the world. The honor bestowed upon earthly kings is derived from their resemblance to the ultimate king, Hashem. This is why we recite blessings upon encountering a monarch, acknowledging that the honor given to a human ruler is a manifestation of divine honor. The Talmud, in its teachings, asserts that a transition from monarchy to dictatorship heralds calamity, reinforcing the notion that the stability and prosperity of the Jewish people are closely tied to the presence of legitimate kingship. Historical examples abound, illustrating how the abdication of monarchies led to chaos and spiritual decline. For instance, following the abdication of Kaiser Wilhelm in 1918, the German Empire collapsed, paving the way for the rise of the Nazi Party and the subsequent horrors of the Holocaust. Similarly, after the Russian Revolution, the abdication of Nicholas II led to the emergence of a regime that sought to eradicate Judaism in Russia, illustrating the profound consequences of the loss of legitimate kingship. Yaakov's actions toward Yosef highlight this principle beautifully. Despite being the patriarch, the spiritual leader of the Jewish people, he recognizes Yosef's kingship and the divine order it represents. By honoring his son, Yaakov acknowledges the role of monarchy in maintaining a connection to the divine. This recognition is especially crucial during times of exile when the Jewish people find themselves under foreign rule. The acknowledgement of Yosef's authority is not merely a familial gesture. It is a recognition of the broader divine plan at play, a plan that underscores the importance of kingship in the preservation of Jewish identity and continuity. The relationship between Hashem and the Jewish people is intricately tied to the concept of kingship, as articulated in the first of the 10 Commandments. I am the Hashem your God who took you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery. This declaration of divine kingship serves as the cornerstone of Jewish identity, linking the people to their history of liberation and emphasizing the continuity of divine providence through the institution of monarchy. The commandment itself is not merely a statement of faith. It is a reminder of the covenantal relationship between Hashem and the Jewish people, one that is mediated through the structure of kingship. Furthermore, the significance of the monarchy extends beyond the individual rulers to encompass the collective experience of the Jewish people. Throughout history, Jewish communities have looked to kingship as a source of stability and guidance during periods of turmoil and uncertainty. The presence of a righteous king is seen as a manifestation of divine favor, and the absence of such leadership can lead to spiritual desolation. As Chassidic thought teaches, the monarch serves as a vessel through which Hashem's will is expressed, guiding the people toward their ultimate purpose. In conclusion, the Chassidic perspective on monarchy, as reflected in Parashat Vayechi, illuminates the profound connections between earthly kingship, divine presence, and the Jewish people's spiritual journey. Yaakov's concern for his burial place serves as a microcosm of the larger narrative of identity, legacy, and the reverence for divine authority. By understanding the significance of kingship within the framework of the Torah, we gain insight into the ongoing relationship between Hashem and Israel, reaffirming the idea that the monarchy, both heavenly and earthly, is a vital aspect of our faith and existence. The acknowledgement of the divine order within the institution of kingship serves as a call to recognize the sovereignty of Hashem in our lives and the importance of maintaining a connection to our spiritual heritage. Long live the King indeed, for through this recognition we celebrate the ongoing presence of Hashem in our lives and the continuity of His covenant with the Jewish people. The nature of slavery. A midrashic inquiry into Rashi's question. In the expansive and intricate landscape of Jewish thought and commentary, the figure of Rashi stands out prominently as an eminent medieval scholar whose insights have profoundly shaped centuries of Torah interpretation. Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki, my 26th great-grandfather, and known affectionately by his acronym Rashi, is celebrated for his ability to elucidate biblical texts through concise yet powerful commentaries. His analytical approach invites readers to delve deeper into the sacred writings, urging them to consider multiple layers of meaning and the complexities that emerge from the text. Among the myriad of topics he addresses, one particularly compelling question arises from his commentary on the phrase "from the house of slavery" in the context of the Israelites' exodus from Egypt. This inquiry opens a rich dialogue about the nature of bondage, servitude, and the divine plan for the Jewish people. Rashi's question specifically probes whether this phrase refers to the literal house of slavery, the oppressive environment associated with Pharaoh's household, or whether it indicates a broader context of the house of slaves. This latter interpretation suggests that the Israelites were subject not only to the tyranny of Pharaoh, but also to the systemic oppression of the entire Egyptian populace. By raising this question, Rashi invites us to explore not only the historical and socio-political dimensions of the Israelites' enslavement, but also the spiritual and theological implications of their suffering. To illuminate this inquiry, we can turn to the Midrash, which offers a nuanced answer anchored in the verse from Devarim. And he will redeem you from the house of slavery, from the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. This verse emphasizes that all Israelites were enslaved by Pharaoh himself, thus highlighting the personal and direct dominion he exerted over them. The distinction is significant. Being enslaved by a king carries a different weight than being a slave to commoners. It suggests a unique relationship between the oppressor and the oppressed, where the Israelites were not merely victims of a societal structure. They were under the direct and absolute control of a sovereign who wielded his power with an iron fist. The reality of servitude under Pharaoh, while undeniably degrading and humiliating, also reflects a complex interplay of divine providence. The notion that God's hand is present even in the bleakest of circumstances implies that the Israelites' suffering under Pharaoh was part of a divine plan leading to their eventual redemption. This theme of divine oversight is woven throughout the Jewish narrative, serving as a poignant reminder that even amidst profound oppression, the potential for liberation and salvation exists. The narrative of the Exodus is not merely an account of physical liberation. It is also a spiritual journey that reflects the broader themes of faith, endurance, and the quest for a relationship with the divine. Moreover, the perspective of Yaakov, the patriarch who recognized the significance of Joseph's position of power in Egypt, further underscores this divine providence. Yaakov understood that as long as Joseph was in a position of authority, it was not merely a stroke of luck or happenstance. It was rather a manifestation of God's guidance and involvement in their lives. The Torah recounts that Yaakov bowed from the head of the bed, an act that Rabbi Avraham ibn Ezra interprets as one of reverence not only toward Yosef but ultimately toward Hashem. This moment encapsulates a profound realization that even in exile, the Jewish people are never truly abandoned by God. Yaakov's acknowledgement of divine presence during a time of exile illustrates his deep faith in God's plan for his descendants, a faith that would sustain him and his family through the trials they would face. This understanding of divine providence is crucial as it allows for a more profound interpretation of the relationship between the Jewish people and their circumstances. The notion that being enslaved by a king signifies a unique form of oppression hints at a deeper theological meaning. That God's providence can be discerned even in the midst of suffering. The Israelites' bondage, therefore, is not merely a tale of despair, but part of a larger narrative that leads to their eventual liberation and the fulfillment of God's promises to their ancestors. Yaakov's gathering of his children, as described in Bereshit, serves as a pivotal moment in this narrative, rich with implications for understanding the collective identity of the Jewish people. Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz, a disciple of the Baal Shem Tov, offers a compelling explanation of this gathering. He suggests that the term "gather together" reflects the necessity for unity among the Jewish people. When Yaakov called his children to him, he was not just delivering a message about their future. He was emphasizing the importance of collective identity and solidarity. The Talmudic phrase "Ase ozneka kafarkisis" signifies that true understanding and communication with God require a concerted effort, especially in times of crisis. Rabbi Pinchas elaborates on this point by noting that sometimes, despite their best intentions, individual transgressions can create barriers between the Jewish people and their Creator. The distance created by sin can feel insurmountable, making it difficult for an individual to reach out to God in prayer. Herein lies the power of communal unity. The act of coming together as one people creates a chain that can bridge that distance, extending from the individual through the community to the throne of glory. The strength of collective prayer and action becomes a potent force in the quest for divine favor and redemption. This sense of unity among the Jewish people serves a dual purpose. It not only strengthens their bond with one another, but also amplifies their collective voice in their relationship with God. The message is clear: while individual misdeeds may create obstacles, the unity of Klal Yisrael, each person joining hands with the next, creates a powerful collective identity that can overcome these barriers. It suggests that the path to redemption and spiritual elevation is not solely a personal journey, but rather a communal one, emphasizing the significance of shared experience and collective action. Additionally, exploring the historical context of the Israelites' enslavement in Egypt sheds light on the broader implications of their experience. The Egyptians were not merely oppressors. They represented a civilization steeped in idolatry and moral depravity, which stood in stark contrast to the values of the Israelite people. The oppression they faced was not just physical, it was also spiritual, as the Egyptian society sought to eradicate the unique identity and faith of the Israelites. This backdrop informs our understanding of their suffering and serves to elevate the narrative of redemption from slavery to freedom. The Midrash teaches that the suffering endured by the Israelites served a purpose beyond mere endurance. It was a transformative experience that would ultimately shape their identity as a people. The hardships they faced in Egypt were not simply a prelude to their liberation. They were essential in forging a collective consciousness that would define the Jewish people for generations to come. The exodus from Egypt is not just a historical event. It embodies the struggle for identity, freedom, and the quest for a relationship with the divine. Aseh oznecha kafarkesis. The profound significance of collective responsibility and divine intimacy in Jewish thought, the phrase Aseh oznecha kafarkesis, which translates to consolidate your ears like a funnel, serves as a powerful metaphor and a guiding principle within Jewish thought. This beautiful expression encapsulates a profound call to unity, attentiveness, and collective engagement among the Jewish community. Rooted deeply in the rich tapestry of Jewish tradition, this teaching emphasizes the necessity of listening and learning together while fostering an awareness of the deep familial bonds that exist among the Jewish people. Central to this concept is the image of the tribes of Yaakov gathering to hear their father's final words, an act that not only symbolizes respect for ancestral wisdom, but also reinforces the principle of communal responsibility. In this essay, we will delve into the nuanced significance of this profound phrase, the lessons derived from the gathering of the tribes, and the intimate relationship between individuals and the divine. Through this exploration, we will uncover the intricate connections that bind the Jewish people to one another and to God, highlighting the importance of unity, shared responsibility, and spiritual engagement in the pursuit of a meaningful life. The gathering of Yaakov's sons to hear their father's final blessings is a poignant and deeply meaningful moment in the Torah. This event transcends the boundaries of a mere familial gathering. It represents a critical juncture where the future of the tribes is shaped by their collective attentiveness. As they come together, they consolidate their ears and transform into one enormous ear, capable of absorbing the wisdom passed down from their father. This collective listening is not simply a passive act. It is an active engagement that aligns with the Talmudic teaching that all Jews bear ultimate responsibility one for the other. This principle of mutual responsibility emphasizes that each individual plays a vital role in contributing to the spiritual and moral fabric of the community. By embracing this responsibility, Jews are better equipped to support one another on their spiritual journeys, facilitating a path of positive divine service. In a world often characterized by distractions, divisions, and the pressures of modern life, the call to Aseh oznecha kafarkesis serves as a clarion call for unity. It encourages individuals to come together, share wisdom, and uplift one another, fostering an environment where collective growth is possible. The act of gathering to hear the teachings of a revered elder, whether it be a parent, a rabbi, or a community leader, reinforces the deep connections that tie individuals together. This collective engagement nurtures a culture of learning and growth, where every voice matters and every perspective is valued. By actively listening to one another, individuals ensure that the lessons and insights shared are internalized and acted upon, ultimately strengthening the community and enhancing the spiritual vitality of its members. Moreover, the significance of communal responsibility extends beyond mere obligation. It nurtures a profound sense of belonging and identity within the Jewish people. When individuals gather to listen and learn, they participate in an age-old tradition that has shaped Jewish identity for centuries. This participation fosters an understanding that each person's unique experiences and insights contribute to the collective wisdom of the community. As members of a community, individuals are encouraged to listen closely to one another, ensuring that their shared heritage is honored and preserved. This sense of shared responsibility is particularly crucial in a time when the world is often fragmented, as it provides a solid foundation for individuals to rely on one another, to share burdens, and to celebrate joys together. The importance of communal responsibility is further underscored by the understanding that each individual's prayers and intentions hold significant weight in the eyes of Hashem. The language of blessings, which allows Jews to address God in the familiar sekfirson, reflects an intimate relationship with the Creator. This unique aspect of prayer signifies a deep connection between the divine and humanity, inviting individuals to approach their prayers with sincerity and confidence. As articulated in Tefillas Pisak Eliyahu, no thought can grasp him at all, yet the ability to directly address Hashem reaffirms the closeness and accessibility of Jad. This relationship invites individuals to express their deepest thoughts, fears, and hopes in prayer, understanding that even the most humble and spiritually unadvanced efforts are met with divine delight. Prayer, or tefillah, transcends mere ritual. It stands as a vital expression of partnership between the Creator and His creation. Each prayer, regardless of its perceived depth or sophistication, holds significance and is cherished by Hashem. The imagery of angels spinning and whirling in reverence as a Jew begins to pray highlights the gravity and importance of this act. The angel's awe serves as a reminder that even those in constant communion with the divine experience reverence, prompting us to approach our own prayers with similar humility and respect. This dynamic reinforces the idea that every individual, no matter their spiritual standing, contributes to the heavenly dialogue that occurs during prayer. The notion that Yehuda, your brother, shall praise you further illustrates this relationship. Yehuda, as the embodiment of kingship, represents the latent royalty within every Jew. By engaging in acts of Torah, mitzvos, and chesed, individuals activate this inherent nobility, allowing them to approach Hashem with the authority befitting royal descendants. This royal status invites a deeper connection, enabling Jews to express themselves in prayer with the familiarity of Ato, thus fostering an intimate dialogue with the divine. Such a relationship is not merely a one-way street. Rather, it emphasizes mutual engagement, where the act of praising God becomes a source of joy and fulfillment for both the individual and the Creator. Furthermore, the collective aspect of prayer enhances its potency. When Jews come together in prayer, their individual voices merge into a harmonious chorus that resonates in the heavens. This collective prayer not only amplifies the intentions of each individual, but also reflects the unity and strength of the community. In Jewish thought, communal prayer is viewed as particularly powerful. It is believed that when the community prays together, the divine presence is felt more profoundly. This underscores the idea that the strength of the Jewish people lies not only in their individual actions, but also in their collective devotion and commitment to serving Hashem. The teachings surrounding Aseh Oznesha Kafarkasis and the role of Yehuda provide a framework for understanding the importance of unity, shared responsibility, and personal connection to Hashem. As Jews come together to listen and learn from one another, they not only strengthen their community, but also enhance their spiritual practices. The partnership with God, cultivated through sincere prayer, empowers individuals to fulfill their spiritual potential and contribute to a world marked by peace, understanding, and a deep knowledge of Hashem. In essence, the principles encapsulated in Aseh Ozneka Kafarkisis serve as a guiding light for the Jewish community. They remind us of the importance of listening to one another, of valuing each person's unique contributions, and of recognizing our shared responsibilities. The gathering of Yaakov's sons stands as a timeless testament to the power of unity, the richness of shared wisdom, and the strength found in collective prayer.